When the people come in, you're going to meet them on the worst day of their life.
A lot of the things that you have to look for is if somebody has an active disease that is apparent.
Expect that individuals with all types of disabilities will need to access a shelter.
Do you have medicine or anything that you have to have right away for your safety?
There's going to be wounds, there's going to be infectious disease, there might be STIs, there might be a whole panoply of stuff.
First aid is one of those things that we can see there's an injury, whereas folks that may be struggling emotionally with what's happened and what's brought them to shelter may be a little bit more difficult to see.
From a behavioral health perspective, what the shelter personnel, what their role is really to provide safety and comfort.
And also to identify that I understand that you don't want to be here, but how can I help you? And let me help you.
During blue sky conditions, during normal operations in which we do not have an emergency, the local health district is going to be working with local jurisdictions to ensure that not only do the local jurisdictions have any type of health-related resources already pre-positioned at a shelter, but also ensuring that the local health district is able to meet the needs of the local jurisdictions during a shelter. So managing expectations.
There are agreements that are made before a shelter's even opened that are already in place, and generally the Community Services Board has a role of at least providing the initial mental health response when something happens. Because we are available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, we could be stood up very quickly, and so we can respond to a shelter within 20 minutes if we're called.
I think a big piece that we do during normal operations is interoperability training. How can we do drills? How can we train with the local jurisdiction so that way our staff and the local jurisdiction staff work together and seamlessly during a shelter operation?
We break our teams up and we just go through what it would be like to operate a shelter and what the expectation may be in a shelter.
It takes a lot of coordination well ahead of time with social services, the Red Cross, emergency responders, sheriff's office, and police. We all have to be prepared and ready for when that event occurs, because it's going to be a huge operation.
In the event of a serious emergency, we're going to ask that worker to be able to identify if this person is in some type of crisis. And if they feel that it's necessary, they should separate this person from the rest of the group and then seek health services.
She's having some nausea, some heart palpitation, and some shortness of breath.
Yeah. Okay. Let's deep breaths. Okay. You're 8.5 months. Have you had any complications with this pregnancy? No. Everything's been perfect.
So if someone arrives at the shelter that has been severely injured, or maybe they're in the shelter and they've become injured, you're going to have a health department resource that's going to be in the shelter, and they've been trained on first aid. So the first thing that I would do is try to reach out to them, and they'll triage among the other people that they have that might be sick or injured there.
Triage in this instance is somebody presents themselves to you, and you're kind of triaging what they have that you can help with.
If we get to a point where residents we cannot treat them, we're going to be sending them out to get the aid that they need.
How about that? Okay. Do you have a history of heart problems? No.
When it comes to trying to notify local 911 in the event that we have a severe health emergency in the shelter that is rapidly progressing beyond the capacity for us to make timely notifications to internal shelter staff, that shelter worker should be able to make 911 calls.
You see a lot of different things. If it's a flood or a fire. If it's a fire, they cough up a lot. You see them cough up debris. The burns are really hard. If it's flooding, then they can come in with pneumonia, and they're just soaked and covered and caked, and there's not a lot we can do. We treat them as much as we can.
It's important that, especially if they are showing signs of a significant injury, that you immediately take them somewhere more confidential, get your health services representation, and start having that conversation of, well, where does it hurt? Have those conversations with someone skilled, trained in that profession to deal with whatever the answer might be.
They are equipped, they have resources that they can call on if need be to meet the needs of the citizens at that particular time.
So in intake, a lot of the things you have to look for is if somebody has an active disease that is apparent.
And if there is somebody who has some sort of disease that enters into the shelter, taking appropriate actions to not only get them the support that they need, but then isolate them away from the general population to ensure that that disease does not spread within the shelter. So if, let's say, for example, if a resident comes into the shelter and they have a highly pathogenic disease, highly contagious disease, and this could be COVID, it could be the flu, it could be some sort of other illness that maybe is just not that prevalent, but this person just seems to unfortunately have it. At that registration, that's when that identification needs to be made, whether it's through just observing their symptoms, if they're starting to show symptoms, or through that registration form being like, hey, they might have something, let's get them over to medical monitoring. For the shelter worker, it is important to know that there are various different things that can contribute to the overall health of the shelter. Cleanliness, hygiene, making sure that there's enough hand sanitizers. If something just doesn't seem right from a health perspective, if you have a gut feeling that, hey, this person just doesn't seem well, just get them checked out.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Are you okay?
No.
You need some medical help?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get you to the nurse's station and get you some help.
If you don't mind, sir, could you put this on, please?
Err on the side of caution. If they're fine, great, but hey, if they do have something, we can catch it before it spreads to the rest of the residents in the shelter.
If they have some type of durable medical need, whether it's oxygen generators or otherwise, we're going to flip over backwards to make sure that they have that, with the caveat that we can't prescribe the medication as a clinic. We are not doing medical assessments. We are just keeping a status quo to people until they can get back to their homes, or making sure that they can get back to a normal type of life.
I'm not licensed to give medicine. That's not my purpose for being there. I'm there to shelter you, and if you need anything that's outside of my realm, we have a lot of people around to help us meet the needs.
People most quickly think about a person who uses a mobility aid, but it's so much more than that. It's individuals who are blind or have low vision. It's individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. It's individuals with intellectual disabilities, with mental health disabilities. You want to create an environment that allows the individual to be as independent as they possibly can. The more the environment in the shelter is set up to accommodate, the less the staff is going to have to figure out, what they need to do and at the last minute try to make things work for the individual. Sometimes we don't always understand that the smallest things could present the biggest barriers for people with disabilities. Myself, as a wheelchair user, I know for sure that I'm going to need to use an accessible restroom. Okay, it's got everything I need. It's got grab bars and we're good. The other thing is the sleeping arrangements. Is the cot going to be high enough for me to transfer to, or wherever I'm going to sleep? Because if those two things aren't present, I can't stay there. If someone comes in a motorized wheelchair, they're going to need a place to plug in their battery so they can keep their chair going. Maybe they have a CPAP machine, they have some sort of equipment that's going to need to be charged. Direct them to maybe a cot that's close to an electrical outlet, or just, assure them where they can be with that electrical equipment. If an individual who has a visual disability, who is blind or has low vision, comes to the shelter, assist them maybe in the registration. Obviously, they're going to need some help to fill out paperwork if that's necessary. But if they're going to move about the facility, the best thing to do is ask the individual if they would like help to get to wherever it is they're going. They'd like some assistance. If they tell you they would, then the best thing to do is let them know that you've extended your arm, let them take your arm and walk at their pace. What you're doing for them is you're giving them some wayfinding skills. When you don't have an individual with a disability in your circle of friends or your family, you sometimes can feel very nervous and intimidated about, oh my goodness, here comes a person with a disability. What do I do now? How do I help? The more you can prepare ahead of time, the less anxiety for you as a shelter staff, and the less anxiety for the person with a disability.
The health side of things is a little bit more linear than it is for mental health. You come in and you have a broken arm, that's fairly linear. You get triaged, you go to the hospital. Mental health is quite another, unfortunately, because if you have somebody that is tremendously agitated, there tends to be a group dynamic or a group stress, if you will.
Going to a shelter is stressful, right? I mean, and going through a disaster or losing your housing, that's stressful for just about anybody. I know I would have a hard time with it. So just keep in mind that people are, they're going through their own experience. What their reactions are, for the most part, in general, are normal.
We may be able to determine if somebody has a diagnosed mental health condition versus simply a stress response. Most of what you will see are people having what we call disaster reactions or reactions to stress, which are normal considering the circumstances.
They may be scared, they may be frightened, they may be very sad, somewhat, withdrawn. And for the most part, those are very normal reactions. And what they may need is just support. They may need somebody to talk to, maybe even just sit beside them for a few minutes so that they can maybe process.
Is somebody sitting alone and seems isolated? Does somebody seem visibly upset, visibly shaken, perhaps in shock?
So you're going to have people that come in that you're not going to be able to manage as well as you think you are. Sometimes the people that walk in there are going to be unmanageable or unruly or whatever the case may be.
Oftentimes, to support behavioral health needs in disasters, we rely on volunteers. People that can either just receive some just-in-time training, or people like through the health department's Medical Reserve Corps that have volunteered for the mental health support function.
Excuse me.
What? I'm fine.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh,
Sir,
yes, ma'am.
this gentleman's having a problem. Can you please try to help him?
Oh, yeah, give me a second. Let me just talk to him.
A shelter staff member should know what mental health resources are available, whether that's, telehealth or a phone call with somebody from the local mental health organization, whether that's someone who's stationed there in the building to be a resource for them, whether that's someone who might not be a professional but still has expertise and skill.
Hey, buddy. Hey, how you feeling today?
I'm good.
Oh, you okay? Everything going all right?
Yeah, everything's fine.
You sure?
I'm feeling good, yeah.
Would you like something to drink?
No,
I'm
fine. I'm fine.
Everything is good.
Off of me, off, right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
You're good.
in the shelter protocol that you would notify the shelter manager that there's a concern, and it could be something that could be addressed on the scene. It could just be someone that needs some additional support. It could be something that's escalating to where another level of behavioral health intervention needs to occur, and they would contact us.
I need for you to send someone over to respond to a person that we have here that's, acting a little bit estranged here. We need some help.
What that might look like is an individual who is highly excited, who is not able to redirect, is very confused, is disoriented and becoming disruptive to other people in the shelter area. Certainly something that if somebody becomes suicidal or homicidal towards other people, threatening to other people, that's when the situation becomes severe and may require police intervention. Ideally, what would be available is our co-responder team. A law enforcement officer paired with the clinician is able to respond to mental health situations.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, I'm Coyote. I'm a clinician with RBHA. We got a call because some folks in here were nervous about you.
What folks? Which folks?
One of the shelter workers was worried because you said you weren't having.
They don't like me here. I don't know. I just got here. I don't know why they don't like me.
Okay.
And it may be that the individual needs to leave shelter where they can go and have a more thorough assessment outside of the shelter and in the community. And that process looks very much the same in that it's generally not done right there on the spot. We need to get somebody in a safe space.
If we do have to involve the police, it's not because somebody is under arrest. It's not because somebody is in trouble. It's because we're trying to get them help.
If folks feel that, we may have a clinical crisis happening at a shelter, there's a couple of ways. The easiest to remember is 988. That is Virginia's 911 for behavioral health crises. When folks dial 988, they can talk to somebody on the other end that is in the region and can help the shelter worker, help the person that they're working with make a determination about what needs to happen next.
One of the best things we can do when individuals are in sheltering situations when we're ministering to their mental health is helping them regulate. There's a lot of, within a sheltering situation that is dysregulatory, that is doing the exact opposite of helping me feel safe and connected, of helping my body and my emotions be well regulated. So there are tools that we can use, tools like having a safe space or a quiet room, a calming room. They go by a lot of different names, a resilience corner or a regulation station, things like that, where we can have resources. And that might be being away from all the action and hubbub, being able to have those tools within the shelter and to be able to give that person space, to give that person comfort, to express our compassion and empathy to them. And we can do those with tools like our voice tone and our body language a lot more than we can with our actual words, because people in crisis don't hear the words that we say very well. They hear how we say it.
And people will always be stressed. There will always be somebody that's upset because there's a lot of unknown.
One of the things that is really important to people is purpose, right? They want to be able to feel like they're part of something or that they're doing something. So even just asking somebody if they wouldn't mind help you distribute water or something like that can really be important. It could help somebody become distracted, take their mind off of maybe some other things that are going on for them. It gives them a chance to connect with somebody, which is very important in a situation like that.
So when you are called to be the person to be in those situations, you walk into 1,000 people that are displaced in a large shelter. You might have some needs of your own, and you might arrive there and be worried about your family, or you might worried about your situation, or you might worry that you're not able to do it. Take care of yourself first.
We need to be able to ask for help. You're going to have those wise and wonderful people who can, de-escalate anybody who are working in your shelter. And it's okay if you're not that person. We all have different roles and different hats that we wear and different skill sets that we have.
People are leaving their homes. No one wants to leave their home. That's their safety zone. That's where they can be whoever they really are. There may be people coming in who are not happy to be here. They may have issues where they're concerned about just coming into this environment, interacting with other people. Anyone who's having a emotional issue at the time because of the event, making sure that we are able to accommodate those individuals with those issues as well as anyone with any physical limitations.
Working for the Department of Social Services has a heart to want to serve, to want to give back to their community, and this is a way that we can do it. We're providing a service to people who don't have the comforts that we might be available to us, and so this is something that we can do to give back to the community.
Shelters scare everybody. I was scared my first shelter, and I'll tell you, honestly, even though I've been in 50, every shelter you still look at and go, ooh, what if this is the one? But once you get through your first client or two, you realize that you totally can do this, and really you've been getting ready for this your whole life.
You're about servicing the community, servicing people. So you have to have a heart for that. You have to be full of compassion and empathy, and you have to put yourself sometimes in individuals' situations, or you think from the perspective that this could be my parent, this could be my sibling, this could be my child, my niece, or whomever that you may love. We try to treat people like we would want to be treated, and we try to take care of all of their needs for as much as possible. We're in here together, and we're going to do this together.